Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, YouTube. What's going on? It's your boy Joey Does Tech, and welcome yourselves back to a brand new video. I couldn't let the Nintendo Switch defeat me. I couldn't do it. Sleepless nights, lonely baths, fruitless fridges. All I kept thinking about was the Nintendo Switch. So that's why today we're gonna revisit the Nintendo Switch and see if we can fix it. Shout out to both Severance and Insomniac. I don't know if you're gonna see this video again, so I apologize if you don't, but credit where credit is due. You guys have helped me so much and I really appreciate that over on the Tronics Fix forum, where I've been ranting about the Switch issues, and they provided me with some feedback and some stuff to do for today's video. Cross your fingers for me, guys. Let's do this. Before we move into the attempted fix in this video, there's a couple of things I want to show you guys. I have purchased the following. This game, along with a specific Nintendo Switch HDMI cable, as well as a Nintendo Switch specific charger, which is in the other room. The reason I purchased these was for testing purposes of the Nintendo Switch that I'm trying to fix. However, I do have this bad boy and this bad boy. These were both purchased on eBay as faulty. This one specifically has a dodgy charging port. I can't wait to get into this one, man. My first ever charging port replacement on a Nintendo Switch, which is hopefully going to go okay. But as you can see, it powers up absolutely fine. Both of the Joy-Cons work as well. And we also have a faulty Nintendo Switch Lite. Now this has been tried and tested by myself as well. The condition is absolutely immaculate, but it freezes when you play a game. I've tried formatting with the data, without the data, everything. And it obviously has the brand new game in as well. And it just freezes after about maybe 45 minutes of gameplay. It's not always on that time, but it's around about then. So this is gonna be an interesting fix. I have no idea. I picked this up for £75, and this I actually picked up for £130, I believe, with a dodgy charging port. Who's looking forward to these fixes, man? I cannot wait. The freezing could actually be something really simple, but if anyone does know, please let me know in the comment section below. Let's get into the main attraction. Once this is apart, I'll give you a quick rundown of what it is that we're doing today. To catch you guys up, I'm going to try and give you the best description I can of what I've done previously regarding this Nintendo Switch. Previously, we were plugging the charger in and we were getting 0.4 amps and 5 volts. But it wasn't fast charging the battery. Nothing was displayed on the screen either. The area around BQ and the coil here, so this is the BQ chip, this is the coil, both of these things were getting extremely hot when I was charging the device. So after doing some research, I was advised to replace the BQ chip. I messed that up completely, and you can see the video link in the description down below. That didn't make a change in anything, so what I then decided to do was change M92, which went surprisingly a lot better than what this did, but I'll show you under the microscope in a second. We might potentially have two bridged capacitors here. Just to show you guys, this battery has a voltage of 3.79 volts, so it should be enough to turn the Nintendo Switch on. This is what happens when I plug it in, and what we get is 15 volts, 0.01 amps. If I was to turn the device on, this goes up to 0.08, which leads me to believe there is a problem with the BQ chip. My plan of action today is to check these caps up here and make sure that we have no shorts around the M92 chip. Once I've done that and reflowed them to make sure they're not touching, if we still get the same thing, I'm probably going to replace the BQ chip. Let's do this. Here we are around the BQ area. As you can see, there's so much flux around here that I've just kind of left on the board since the last time I've done it. And there's flux all over it. This is not good. So I need to clean up this flux first of all. However, I have just noticed something, right? Can you see how that's not connected? You see this one and this one? Neither of these pins are connecting to the chip with any solder whatsoever. So my first protocol is to quickly put some solder on the soldering iron and touch those up, because there is nothing going to them. A tiny bit of flux. Just there. Don't know if I got any solder off then. I'm really scared now of putting too much solder on, because I know what kind of catastrophe that can cause. As you can see on my channel from the last video. See how my iron just isn't taking the solder. But clean with IPA. I'm going to put my heat up on the iron just to see if I can get these two bits soldered so we can get back to testing. I've just increased the temperature on my iron to 450. See if that helps. I managed to get a tiny bit of solder on the end of my iron. I don't know if you can see. Come on, it's 450 degrees, man. Oh my god, as if, why is this not melting? Come on, melt, melt, come on. What is this, man? It's absolutely rank. I'm gonna leave that solder there and I'm gonna switch my solder head because I think this one's screwed. All right, here we go again. Yeah, that's better. I think they're both going to the same place, so it doesn't really matter too much, but they're definitely making a connection now, whereas before they weren't. So let's just try that really quick, see if we get anything different on the amp meter. Please show me something different, so that wasn't a massive waste of time. 0.39, 0.47. Okay then. Still no fast charge. Wait, give it 2 seconds, see if it pops up to fast charge. No, it doesn't. Okay, that's better though than what it was, right? The question is, does it go into fast charge if there's nothing else plugged in? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm glad that I inspected the board and I was able to see that that is what was causing the issue. So the BQ chip wasn't soldered on correctly, it was just 2 little bits, and I'm going to guess that them being joined the way they are, because they're going to the same trace or area, I should say, should be fine. However, they're now getting really hot. These components here are getting really, really hot. Okay, progress. So now we have M92, and I can already see there seems to be a little bit of solder over here, which I clearly didn't see first time around. I don't think that's going to make a massive difference, but I'm just going to really quickly check all of the sides to make sure that they're okay. So that side is absolutely fine from what I can see. This side, how are we looking? Yeah, I think we're looking good. Oh, I don't think that's solder where I just pointed to. I think it's just a little bit of leftover flux, but that looks fine. Everything looks soldered properly there. This is the issue that I was saying about the capacitors. You see that? Those 2 caps there touching. So I'm going to sort them out now, but I'm just checking the chip to make sure there's no bridges. Everything looks okay. Just make sure over here that we're all good. How are we looking? Yeah, I think we're looking good. So I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of flux over these 3 caps up here, just in an attempt to reflow them, just to make sure that they're all hunky-dory. I'm going to go 430 with 2 airflow. Nozzle-wise, it's quite a big nozzle. Let's see if we can make magic happen. I think that's okay. Wow, look how quickly that evaporates. The board is boiling. Okay, yeah, we'll leave it for a second. That's not a time lapse or anything. That's just how hot the board is right now. Give it a good scrub, good clean. Okay, I think that looks a lot better than what it was before. Just check the area now and see if we have any shorts. To be honest with you, the way that I'm measuring these, I don't think it really matters that they were touching. Double check. They go where they need to, that's good. That's good. That's good. And that's good. All right, we're looking okay. We're looking fine. Right, now let's go back to the amp meter and test again. I don't think that specifically would have made a huge difference, but that's why we test, right? So 0.39, 0.47. I'm pretty sure it's meant to go up to like 1.2 to 1.4 if it's fast charging, so I'm gonna give it a second. Again, this area getting very hot where BQ in this coil is extremely hot. So I'm just testing on the multimeter to make sure. So this is obviously voltage. And look, you can see that it's going up. It's only been plugged in for a couple of seconds, and this battery was at 3.7. So it's not really going up too much. I wonder what happens. I'm gonna leave that here and I'm gonna take out the charger. Drops down 3.8, 4, 3.83, 3.87. You see how quick that's dropping as well? Is that quick? I think that's quite quick, right? And then if I unplug the battery, 3.815, and it's stable. So what this is telling me is that 3.814, what this is telling me is that the battery is being consumed by something. 3.813, is it going to go to 3.812? I don't know if that's because of the prongs though, but it goes down very, very quick when the battery's in and I put the charger in, because then what that's doing, I think, is turning the console on. So I think the board is functional in some way, otherwise we wouldn't be getting anything. I've switched over to the microscope quickly to just show you how hot this is getting when it's under charge. Can you see the IPA evaporating around the chip? I love how it starts down here on this side of the chip and then works its way up. You see how that's moving up? Just for practice and peace of mind. I think these cost me like £2 each, these chips. I'm going to replace this chip. We're going to redo it and we're going to see if that makes a difference. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We learn something today and we practice and we try and get better at it. And I hate to say it again, but this is what this channel is all about. So let's get this BQ chip off and replace it with another one. Turning the speed right down because there's a lot of sensitive components around this area. Trust me, I know that now. Try and make this as clean as possible. I don't think that's too much solder on the pad itself. And try and get it in a flat line so I can see exactly how raised it is. It doesn't look raised at all, to be honest. Maybe it needs a touch of solder on that. And obviously we'll try and clear the pads up as well. I'm going to heat up the board a little bit with my hot air station. Then I'm going to put flux on. Then I'm going to add a tiny bit of solder. There's the heat into the board. There's the flux. And here's the little bit of solder. Clean it up because it looks very dirty at the moment. Those two that are bridged at the top and the right hand corner of your screen now are okay to be bridged. So this is okay to be bridged and that's okay to be bridged because they're both going to the exact same place. Now let's get a new BQ chip back on. Let's go. My air station is at 450. The speed is at 1. We're about to solidify this in place. That's on the board now. You see it soldered onto the board. So I'm just going to let go. And we've lost a resistor. It was the flick away. It was literally the flick away. Everything was okay up until that point. Right, come back slowly but surely, my friend. Come on. Put some flux on real quick. Not very even. Whilst there's heat in the board, I'm going to use my soldering iron to just quickly get rid of those little blobs that have popped out, as well as some flux. Okay, I think that looks a bit cleaner than what it did last time. Come on, come on. There we go. I need to maybe connect some of those pads because they don't look like they're making a connection. Still don't have faith in these two down there, you know. Let's just see what happens real quick. I'm just going to plug in the amp meter. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but we're now getting 0.0 amps going. So we have clearly messed something up here. I am not playing anymore. Absolutely diabolical. My iron is max heat, by the way. I think I'm burning away trace. I'm gonna get the heat gun out again. I'm gonna ruin the board, I know I am. I know I'm gonna ruin the board, but I can't. We were working before, now we're not. So it's clearly an issue with this. what I'm going to do? I'm going to improvise. I'm going to add solder by hand to this. Oh no. So this is why you don't improvise? Yeah? I need to push these caps over. Alright, I've just plugged the charger in and it now states that we are at 0.4 amps again. So we are back to normality, which is really, really good because it just shows that this wasn't soldered on correctly, but now, I mean, you're looking at it and you're thinking, it definitely doesn't look soldered on correctly. However, I mean, from what I can see, everything seems... This down here just isn't making a connection, man. You can see here where I've burnt the chip because I've been trying to get that bit soldered. So this, it's the only bit that I want soldered, this little tiny weeny bit here. If this doesn't work, me trying to solder this, I'm then going to try and place the recoil, I've just called this. I'm going to try and replace the coil and see what happens then, because I've got a spare one of those as well. Okay, come on, you got this, 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 you got this. Okay, oh, yeah, that works, right? That's not bridging either. It's not pretty. It's not pretty in the slightest, and I completely get that. I'm going to replace the coil. Back to the overhead view to see if this monstrosity works. Right, plugging in the battery now to see what we get on this coil. There's the old coil, as you can see. It was a little bit burnt, but I didn't think too much of it. And we tested it and it seemed fine. 0.38, 0.47, and it doesn't go to fast charge, unfortunately. We're still hanging around 0.47 at the moment. I think I've done all I can here for today. But I'll just check over a few more things. One more attempt, our kid, come on. Should learn when to quit, really. All right, let me try it now. I'll really quickly just put it back together because I want to see if anything's changed. So when it was last apart, just before I put it back together, it was 0.4, it started off 0.38 and then hopped up to like 0.46 or somewhere thereabouts. So let's see if it is the same now that we've put it back together. Oh, 0.12, 0.09, 0.11, 0.12. Do we get the same? 0.10, 0.12. Yeah, we do. I know this is probably really weird, but I'm just gonna, I know it's not gonna make the slightest of differences, but here's what it is. 0.09, 0.11. So we're completely different now to what we were when we were fiddling about with it. We managed to get up to like a 0.46 amp, but now it's just not having it at all. So I don't know whether something would have shorted it when I put it back together. It's a shame. However, I think it's time for this. Donor switch rip. Today's a sad day. Good night, my old friend. In all seriousness, if you've seen something in this that you thought, Jesus, Joey, that could have been done so much better, please provide me with some advice in the comment section below. I'm completely on board with taking any tips I can. You saw that we tried like different heads and stuff on the soldering iron as well. Is it the iron? Is it me? It's 99% me, but I just feel like the irons weren't taking the solder. But again, is that because I wasn't keeping the tips clean? You know, is there any helpful information that you guys can give me perhaps in the comment section below to help me further when looking at tiny components on a motherboard? This switch I'm going to put to the side for the time being, but I will happily revisit this at some stage, or worst case scenario, we use it like it says on the box for a donor, for something else that we have. I have plenty of amazing videos coming up that I can't wait to do, including just swapping a switch port. That's going to be fun. A charging port, that's going to be really, really fun. Let's just hope it's not as stressful as what this was. I have tried and I have failed. Alas, I will not be giving up. I will keep it nice and tucked up in that donor board box for the time being, but if anyone does have any suggestions as to what it might be, please let me know and I will revisit it again at some point in the future if I haven't used it to fix another switch with the components that, because you see what I'm saying? The weird thing is, even though I haven't managed to fix the Nintendo Switch, I'm really enjoying working on it. And I don't know if that's because I'm learning so much or whether it's insanity. I have another Nintendo Switch that I need to replace the charging port on and a Switch Lite that keeps freezing when I'm playing games, which is very frustrating. I'm sorry I wasn't able to fix it, but we will go again. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment if it's about the Switch or anything else, just to say hello, feel free. Discord link is in the description as well, so hit that up and I will see you in the next one. Have a great weekend. Peace.